The unfortunate cancellation of the film G. It's not begin with profanities yesterday. Um, Presently, one hopes to begin the future view section. In this section, we'll be showcasing 3 films. Uh, so the order will be a screening of a clip from the film, approximately 10 minutes in duration, followed by interaction with the directors who are present here. Uh, for the most part, it will be me standing next to the director. How unfortunate. Whereas in other parts, specifically with the second film, Arakshan, we'll have Miss Bhavna Somaya coming in uh, after the first film. First, so I'll tell you the order of the films. The first film is Patang by Mr. Prashant Bhargava. The second film is Arakshan by Mr. Prakash Jha. And the third and last film is Ship of Theseus by Mr. Anand Gandhi. That's as far as the introduction goes. Presently, I'd like to invite Mr. Prashant Bhargava here to just preface the screening of the clip from his film.
Thank you to the Enlightened Film Society, and it's a pleasure to be here with the Naya Cinema Film Festival. We'll be screening 15 minutes of the film. We had the wonderful honor of premiering this film in the Berlin Film Festival earlier this year, and then we were in Tribeca in New York. This film has been a 7-year journey for all of us, and I will be having a number of my cast joining us after the film as well. So enjoy. This is very much a film about the love of Ahmedabad, and it's been a work of sheer love from a lot of people, so thank you. Actors in the film, and she did a brilliant job of bringing everyone together. Anjali Punjabi. We also have our assistant editor and assistant director here, Ruchi, who's going to be also part of the film with Anand Gandhi later on. So Ruchi. And I have my partner in crime, my dear friend, who this film wouldn't have been possible without, my producer, Jaideep Punjabi. I'd like to introduce 4 members of our cast. Jayesh, played by Mukund Shukla. Akash, who played the role of Bobby. And I've heard he's a little afraid in front of audiences, but Nawaz, who played the role of Chakku. And our beautiful actress, Sugandha. So we began this film 7 years ago. I did 3 years of research making the film. And, I'm from Chicago and New York, so coming from the outside, I really was conscious of not having that point of view and wanted to do a lot of observation, and I immersed myself within the community. I spent a lot of time with the grandmothers and the gambling bookies and everyone, and really got in touch with the place, and that's very much how this film emerged, from that process of observation. So foremost, what I was attempting to do was first make a film that the people of Ahmedabad, that represents their story. Doesn't focus upon their sadness or the tragedies of the past, but on their pride and their resilience. And whatever happens in front of you, to me, that was beautiful. The magic of the everyday. In Indian film, there are lots of different ways we go, and they're all beautiful. But one thing that I would hope to see more of in the future is more of what we are in the daily actions. There's so much beauty there and so much power, and we can leverage that in films to come. So that was very much where the film came from. Obviously, what you saw here is just portions of the film, a couple scenes here and there, and you saw the breaks. The sound wasn't intentional. But otherwise, the film will be coming, and we need your support in terms of promoting the film, so become a fan on Facebook. I guess we'll open it up to questions, or? So, since we're getting no questions right now, if each one of you, the actors, can just talk a little bit about your journey making the film and what it meant to you. And
I think it's a project for an actor that is, it's terrible that it comes along so early in your career, because the space that you get to just be that person, it's very, very hard to come by. I wouldn't even think that I will ever get to be like that ever again for a film. The takes are really long and there is no rush to get to a line. I read the script really early on. In fact, during the course of the film, I didn't even read the script again. I just read it once, like 3 months back, and then there was the case of the missing script, and I asked him, I said, okay, so we're starting, can I read? He said, you don't need to. If you play what you have to play and I put you in a situation, then chances are what you say is going to be very close to what I've written. And either way, I'll take it. And I think that is very freeing. It's very intense. It makes you like do things and think things which are just, they get too personal, but it's very, very freeing. So it was a pleasure to have done this film. Nawaz bhai.
Patang was a process for me as an actor because I'm a trained actor, but I work 90% non-actors. So at the time I realized that I have to reduce my smartness as an actor. So it's very difficult to sync with the non-actor. So it's a process for me especially. Thank you so much.
सबसे पहले तो मुझे भरोसा ही नहीं था कि मैं कोई फिल्म करूँगा। अहमदाबाद में रहता था और तभी एक दिन एक मैम आए जिनका नाम अंजलि पंजाबी है। तो हम कैंटीन में बैठे बैठे चाय पी रहे थे। उन्होंने एक लैपटॉप निकाला, उसमें से एक क्लिप दिखाई पतंग फिल्म की पहली जो ट्रेलर था वो। तो मुझे लगा कि ये ऐसे ही बना रहे होंगे, लेकिन फिर सबने बोला नहीं नहीं सही में फिल्म बना रहे हैं। फिर उन्होंने ऑडिशन लेना चालू किया। तो पहले ऑडिशन में तो कम से कम 3-4 घंटे हमने पतंग ही उड़ाई थी, जबकि उस टाइम पे पतंग का सीज़न नहीं था, नवरात्रि चल रही थी, फिर भी हमने पतंग उड़ाया। फिर उसमें मैं पास हुआ, फिर और आगे 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 आगे। फिर एक टाइम ऐसा आया कि पूरे अहमदाबाद के अलग अलग दिमाग के 17 लड़कों के बीच में खड़ा कर दिया, जो सब बहुत लंबे, हाइटेड, अच्छा लुक था उनका। लेकिन प्रशांत भाई और अंजलि मैम को ऐसा लगा कि मैं मुझसे बेस्ट पतंग कोई नहीं उड़ा सकता। तो बस फिर आ गया स्क्रीन के अंदर।
ये तो ना वो किसके बारे में बताओ।
हाँ, इस फिल्म के अंदर एक बहुत ही बड़ा सरप्राइज सीन था मेरे लिए। मुझे पता नहीं था कि ऐसा होने वाला है, लेकिन एक दिन रात को शूट था और सब आए, प्रशांत भाई, फिर मनीष भाई, अजीत भाई, सब मुझे च्युइंगम दे रहे थे, फिर क्लोरमेंट दे रहे थे। मुझे पता नहीं चल रहा था कि क्या होने वाला है आज रात को। और फिर छत पे ले गए तैयार करके कि चलो भैया तुम्हारा शूट है, रात का है। मैं बोला ठीक है चलो। ऊपर गया तो सुगंधा अपने एकदम खुशनुमा अंदाज में बैठी थी।
ऐसा कुछ नहीं।
फिर अचानक से प्रशांत भाई ने सुगंधा को कुछ कान में बात बोली कि आज तुम्हें इसे कुछ करना है। तो जब शूट शुरू हुआ तब सुगंधा ने इतना बड़ा किस किया मुझे कि मेरी होश उड़ गए थे 10 मिनट।
This was his first kiss, okay? That is the which he's not telling you. He had never kissed before, and he told me this. Prashant told me when he gave me narration in Bombay. Signature, there's this one thing. So I said, what? The guy that you're going to kiss, he's never kissed before, and we are not going to tell him this. And I felt so evil, and I was like, okay, I'm fully game. And when it happened, as in when you guys see the film, you'll see it. I think it's quite sweet.
हेलो, मुकुंद, मैं एक्टर नहीं हूँ। प्रशांत जी की आंखें ने मुझे पहचाना। हम लोग दोस्त रात को जहाँ पे बैठते हैं वहाँ पे प्रशांत जी ये उत्तरायण के एक दिन पहले हमको मिले थे वहाँ पे, और उनके साथ जा रहे थे। तो हमने सोचा ये फॉरेनर टाइप का आदमी है तो उनको चलो छेड़ते हैं। तो सामने से हमने बुलाया उन लोगों को कि क्या है ये कैमरा वैमरा लेके घूम रहे हो ये वो। तो एक बात निकली, दूसरी ये वो। तो जैसे आकाश ने बताया कि पतंग बना रहे हैं ये फिल्म, तो हम लोग ने भी ऐसा ही सोचा कि बहुत सारे लोग आते हैं उत्तरायण के टाइम पे, तो वन ऑफ देम। तो हमने भी खींचाई चालू रखी। फिर उन्होंने बताया कि हम लोग आपके वहाँ पे आपके टेरेस पे कल आ रहे हैं और ये सब। तो बोला हाँ हाँ आओ आओ, बहुत सारे दोस्तों आते रहते। तो इनको भी हमने इनवाइट किया। फिर आए, वहाँ पे एक दो जगह पे लेके गए। फिर नेक्स्ट ईयर शायद वहाँ पे लोकल इलेक्शन का टाइम था, वहाँ पे घूम रहे थे, मैंने देखा एक दो बार इनको, और मैं थोड़ा इलेक्शन के लिए काम कर रहा था और मैंने देखा इनको। इन्होंने मुझे बुलाया और बताया कि एक थोड़ा काम है ये पतंग के लिए। तो मैंने सोचा नॉर्मल काम है, कोई बात नहीं, कोई जगह चाहिए तो मैं दिलवा दूंगा, ये वो जो भी कुछ था वो नॉर्मली बताया। फिर उन्होंने बताया कि नहीं, थोड़ा कुछ अंदर काम करना पड़ेगा आपको। तो मैंने बोला हाँ हाँ कोई बात नहीं, छोटा मोटा काम होगा, कर लूँगा, कोई बात नहीं, अभी मेरे को काम है, आप, मैंने अवॉइड किया। फिर प्रशांत जी ने मुझे फिर से एक बार आके बताया कि आप आओ यहाँ पे। ये बात तो शायद इन लोगों को भी नहीं पता है। ये इलेक्शन ख़त्म होने के बाद 23rd डेट था वहाँ पे, और हम लोग बहुत थक गए थे और मैं घर पे था और फ़ोन आया। तो मेरे दोस्त का फ़ोन आया और जयदीप जी साथ में थे, तो उन्होंने बताया एक्सक्यूज़ मी, जयदीप जी ने बताया कि आप मुझे मिलने आ सकते हो, ये वो बात हुई। तो मैं इतना थक गया था कि मैं सोने की कोशिश कर रहा था और मैं आ रहा हूँ करके उनको अवॉइड कर रहा था। 4-5 बार फ़ोन आने के बाद मेरी वाइफ ने बताया कि क्या बात है, हो क्या हो, जो भी कुछ है इसको ऐसा अवॉइड मत करो। मैंने सोचा चलो चलते हैं। मैं गया टेरेस पे गया, तो वहाँ पे सारे क्रूज थे, नवाज़ भाई थे, सुगंधा, ये सब बैठे थे। और फिर मेरे नवाज़ भाई के साथ मेरा स्क्रीन टेस्ट हुआ। ओके, फिर से जाके, तब तक तो मुझे ये सब कुछ मालूम ही नहीं था। चलो ले लो, स्क्रीन टेस्ट लेना है तो जो भी करना है वो ख़त्म करके मैंने ऐसे ही दे दिया था, और फिर आज आपके सामने यहाँ पे खड़ा हूँ। थैंक यू।
Any questions?
And if you do have questions, you could put your hand up and I'll try to sprint and the mic to you.
Come on, I came from New York. You got to ask me some question. We're trying to get a release now, so we're meeting with people and about distribution. So we're hoping for a January release, but we need your support. So do the Facebook thing and tell people about it, and hopefully it'll come out sooner.
How many Uttarans you had to work on this?
I just one Uttarayan, but I had went to 3 before to do research and all of that, and then and then the next Uttarayan we shot a little bit more, but the shoot was 2 months long, and then we shot around Uttarayan and did some scenes there too. So Uttarayan's only for 2 days, you know.
Why the Kite Festival? Is it something from your childhood?
Yeah, I remember my uncles flying kites when I was young. My family's from Ujjain and Allahabad. So it was something very pure in what it was. Everyone looks up at the sun regardless of who they are, rich or poor, Hindu, Muslim, young, old, man, woman, and they all stare and they forget about their problems. And they forget about the future. It's a meditation in its purest form to me, without all the religious connotation and all of that. So for me, it was a great metaphor to use for this film, and thematically the film is how celebration heals and brings together a family.
Hello. What camera you have used? How many days shooting? And what's the budget of your film?
We used at that time, they didn't have the red camera and they didn't have the DSLR, so we used a Panasonic camera, HD camera. I shot 200 hours of footage because it was very much working with non-actors. We did very long takes, just allowing things to happen, letting that beauty unfold. So, and that just took a long time, so it was a very arduous process. And if we shot on film, we wouldn't have that leeway. And I really enjoy that connection and preserving the environment. As far as the budget, it was more than 10 rupees.
Hi, congrats on the movie. You said that you worked on it for 7 years. In between, another movie had come with a similar name in English. So, did you think at any point of time to change the name of the movie because we all know what happened with that one?
No. Thanks.
One last question.
So thank you so much. The film is done and it's complete. It's premiered in, as I mentioned, in Berlin and Tribeca. We'll be going to many festivals, hopefully in Mumbai very soon. And just let people know, and it's just a portion of the film, but I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And thank you so much to the Naif Cinema Film Festival and everyone for having us. Thank you.
All right, folks, this is the part where we just begin the promo of Harakshan, or the short clip if you'd like, after which we'd have Mr. Jha coming in and we could have a Q&A there. Thank you.
You don't want to speak, my brother? It is my privilege to introduce Prakash Jha, and I'm also very privileged because I met Prakash Jha when he had not become this very dynamic director. It was in the early 80s, and he was a very shy and an extremely good-looking guy, and he was very, very introverted, and he would almost run away from his home if there was a party on, and return when the party got over. Today, Prakash Jha has salt, pepper, beard and hair, and is a very approachable, accessible gentleman. And as a filmmaker, he's open to all kinds of avenues. That is why in 1 minute, he understood what this occasion is all about and agreed to be a part of it. There is a saying in Gujarati, which my mother used to often say, कि सागर का सारा पानी एक ही इंसान पिएगा तो दूसरे लोग क्या पिएंगे. Prakash Jha is not just a producer, he's a director, he's a story writer, he's done dialogues, he's done costumes in some films, he has acted in 1 or 2 films, and is there something else? Edited. And he is really the envy of all the directors because he has the maximum national awards. I have not counted them, but there are innumerable. There are people who die for 1 national award, and here is a man who collects it every time in his new pocket. You guys have just seen the film, the promo, the long one, 15 minutes, which I have not seen, but I know what the film is all about. And what is it about the Bihar politics or the whole political scene that constantly keeps attracting you? You see, you started with Hip Hip Hooray, but later on you left the children behind and you've gone into a different world.
First of all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. A very good afternoon to you all. I mean, I'm generally, over the last, I should think, 10 years, I'm usually not invited to such august gatherings that you all are, because they all think that I have become a very commercial filmmaker and don't deserve to be in the circle of art cinema. But that's why I'm very pleased to be here amongst all of you. Hip Hip Hooray was a film, as Bhavna, you know, I have told you earlier also, because Damul was the script that I wrote first and I wanted to do that film. But I wasn't getting any money or any producer for that film. And when my friend Manmohan Shetty suggested we should do a film which probably will get a release and, you know, will cushion the, you know, the shock of Damul. So we, just over a cup of tea, we kept on thinking, and I was quite interested in sports, and, you know, Escape to Victory or, you know, such couple of other films came to mind, and we just worked out a very simple storyline about 2 schools and the rivalry based on the game of football. So that was, you know, just film made just for the fun of it. But as for your question, See, Bihar society is an extremely active, volatile, thinking, and moving society. It is politically very aware. Even a common man knows about George Bush and such people, and whatever is happening in not only in Bihar but the rest of the world. So it's been interesting for me to keep observing the movement of the society from a very feudal society, a state where land reforms didn't take place, a state where green revolution didn't come in, a state where for a long period of time, was called backward, a state which has seen various kinds of governments. And the impact of, especially the past the 70s and 80s, the impact of Mandal Commission, open market economy at the very grassroots level. We ourselves felt the sort of like, the compulsion to change our style of filmmaking in, the 90s. And that is why a film called Mrityu Dand, which I had originally written a script and I had cast Palvi Joshi and such other theater actors, and I was trying to make that film and suddenly realized that the NFDC, had stopped or almost was, unfunctional, and to make a film like I did Damul or Parinati, which were done films within 15 lakhs, it was, in the 90s, the cost spiraled to about 60-65 lakhs. And there was no way you could recover it. So one took a conscious decision to change the packaging, both in terms of content and style and casting, and make it more marketable and do a film.
I'll have to interrupt you here because yesterday I was with Madhuri Dixit, and when she spoke to you, and I was telling her that Madhuri was at the stage of her career when she had just given us Hum Aapke Hai Kaun. And it was
actually, when I cast her in the film, she was doing Choli Ke Piche Kya Hai.
Khalnayak.
Yeah, she was, that particular day when I went to narrate the story of Mrityu Dand to her, she was actually shooting that song for Subhash Ghai.
But Mrityu Dand released in the same year as Hum Aapke Hai Kaun, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Hum Aapke Hai Kaun it released earlier.
Earlier.
Yeah.
So I feel that she was just talking that at that stage of her career, she could not have gone higher in the mainstream cinema, and this was the most intelligent and a defining decision in her career to do Mrityu Dand, and you did full justice to her role. And it was actually your first female-centric film also.
Oh yeah. Female. I mean, there were multiple female in that film. Shabana, Madhuri and Shilpa. So that is how it has all worked out. And from then on, I've been trying to learn and maybe perfect my own language of cinema, which is not usually liked by the critics and the purists. But that's the way it is. I'm trying to work it out. I hope one day I'm able to satisfy everybody.
Your basket of cinema has all kinds of flavors. There is recently Dil To Bachcha Hai Ji. There is Ganga Jal.
Dil To Bachcha Hai Ji is not my film.
No, what is it? Bachcha something?
Dil Dosti, etc.
Ji, that's what I meant. Sorry, it's old age. It's all right. So it is that. Then there is Ganga Jal. There is Rajniti.
Yeah. I also produced Khoya Khoya Chand. And
Khoya Khoya Chand. You produce also turning 30 for
turning
your
30 for
AD.
Alankrita, yes. And also produced, was part of Sudhir's.
But the movies that you direct are getting heavier in the cast, all big stars, particularly Rajniti. It must have been a nightmare to handle so many people.
No, it was quite simple, quite easy. We did a lot of homework. I mean, we did pre-production for almost one whole year. Very serious pre-production. And that is how sort of like, we shot the film in 102 days. Whereas we were scheduled to finish it in 103 days. So we were one day early on that film, yeah.
What is a day in your life like? How do you divide your time between what you're producing, what you're directing, what you're writing?
Yeah, there is no division. It all overlaps all the time, and sort of one keeps on working. It's every day is a new, fresh day. A whole lot to be done.
And what are you going through just now, just before the release of Arakshan?
Well, as I was telling you, I should be thinking about, the prints and the colors and the sound and everything, and the release, the territories, because we not only produce but we also distribute. So the worldwide distribution, the deals which have been made, the publicity which has to be sent, and now the publicity and the advertisement takes a whole lot of like we are traveling, we are on the road, we have to be on the internet, everything. And there are a whole lot of protests happening on Arakshan. Right now we have, a couple of court cases, right? High Court and Supreme Court, which they are all trying to stall the release of Arakshan. So it's quite exciting.
I've not seen the longer trailer which was just shown, but I've seen the shorter one. And I remember a scene which haunted me for many days, where the younger actor asks Amitabh that, it's not a time now anymore to say that I'm in the center. You have to take a side. Mm-hmm. Something like that.
Yeah.
So we know that you made the film. We'll see the film. But right now I want to ask you, on which side are you? Trouble question.
That's very difficult to say, and it was very difficult to for Mr. Amitabh Bachchan also, the character, to commit as to which side, because quite honestly, it's not only part of our social reality, but it's part of constitutional reality. Arakshan or reservation or affirmative action is here to stay. There's nothing you can do about it, and we have, the pain of the centuries and the newer pains which have been generated in the society, and we have to live with all of them, and we have to try and see what exactly is happening in the backdrop and landscape of a reserved society. And that is what the film will try to deal with. It's not always easy to simplify these huge social issues and put them into a film or come up with some kind of solution. I never ever try to do that. But the whole intention is to speak, to look at it from every point of view, to look at it from every possible point of view, and present the status and have an interesting, engaging, emotional story weaved around it. That's what the whole idea is.
I appreciate the honesty that maybe it's not possible to draw solutions, but at least we can create an awareness, and this is how the evolving happens. Out of all these so-called seminars that I go to, I have always said that the enlightened audience is really the most enriched, and they ask very, very good questions. So you can throw your questions.
Just before that, I would like to say, I know it is not fair for an audience to sort of see a 10-minute clip and, ask fair questions, but...
Restricted to the film.
Whatever.
Pranav, you want to ask?
So this time perhaps they might not have questions, because the quality through which we saw was not really up to the mark. And because the DVD which had come was not that, but still the people who have seen who have seen the promo and people who have seen here right now as well, the basic question was the films that you have made. We have seen a gradual shift in a way, the way you made films earlier, whoever has seen your earlier films and the films you are making right now, was it like a conscious decision to move in this direction, or more commercial, more money's coming in? Does it hold you back to tell your own stories in the way it should be told, the commercial cinema?
Definitely it does put up a challenge before me to say what I really want to say through the characters. It's not easy, and you also need to constantly think about the audience, the consumer rather, not the audience, who is going to come and pay and see your movies. And see, at that point of time, all of us had to make this conscious decision. When suddenly we found that NFDC was not able to support us. because we never ever bothered when I personally, when I was making Damul or Parinati, films like those, whether these films will get released in cinema or not released, or how are we going to get our money back. We made the film because we wanted to make those films, and the whole kind of like class from Film and Television Institute of India, Ketan, Saeed, or me, or Kundan, we are all in the same. So some of us, in fact all of us, had to decide and work with the commercial mainstream cinema. And when you start working with mainstream cinema, there are other compulsions. You have to understand about the investments, you have to understand about the returns, you have to understand about the market, you have to understand about... So this is a constant struggle to balance, and with the little kind of intellectual resource that I have, I try to do the best that is possible.
Two things come to my mind as you speak that you're constantly balancing. Do you somewhere in your heart feel like you've
sold myself?
Yeah. And do you miss
No,
the
I
whole
enjoy it.
parallel cinema movement?
Not at all. I mean, yes, a parallel cinema movement should have been there, but I really enjoy what I do because it's a challenge. There is a particular scene, how to redesign the scene that it will become larger than life, how to put in the words and the dialogues which will sound dramatic, and somehow say things which I think is essential as far as the drama is concerned, and also the intent is concerned. And I try to sort of like instead of going to smaller towns, I try to go to bigger towns, and I try to make a bigger crowd, and I try to put in these are all commercially kind of like viable commercial viabilities which one thinks about. And also you realize that I try not to shoot in studios. I mean, I'm always shooting outdoors, and I'm always shooting in real locations on real streets, and it requires a lot of planning, a lot of expense to be able to do that. But that's the way it is, and I quite enjoy the way, and I enjoy the fact that big actors agree to work in my movies, and I do get time to work with them before we start shooting, and they come up with the kind of performances which they like, and it's great. Yeah, I mean, it has been a slightly fortunate journey because all the films since Mrityudand have worked, and so one has, as a production house, been doing well enough to produce one's own films, and some of the smaller films that I have been able to do.
प्रकाश जी, अनुराग पांडे बोल रहा हूँ। प्रकाश जी, कई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी देखना चाहती है फिल्म, और लोगों को बहुत दिल में बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं कि क्या है फिल्म में, आरक्षण के खिलाफ है, आरक्षण के समर्थन में है, और आप खुद एक ब्राह्मण हैं। लास्ट में जब फिल्म देख के निकलेंगे तो क्या होगा, क्या सोचेंगे हम लोग?
ब्राह्मण आपने बता दिया, मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगा। मुझे तो खास पता नहीं उसके बारे में। बाकी फिल्म देख करके निकलेंगे तो क्या अनुभूति आपको होगी, वो मेरे लिए बता पाना इतना आसान नहीं है। मैं सिर्फ इतना कहना चाहूँगा कि मैंने कोशिश की है इस फिल्म में सभी के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यूज़ रखने की, उनका भी दर्द बताने की, जो एक ज़माने से, सदियों से सामाजिक उत्पीड़न झेलते रहे हैं और एक्सप्लॉयट होते रहे हैं, और हमारा समाज जातिगत मूल्यों पर आधारित समाज है। जात आप निकाल नहीं सकते हमारे समाज से, तो इसलिए जो भी पॉलिसी होगी वो जात को अफेक्ट करेगी, और कैसे हम इसको कंटेन करें, कैसे इसको हम साथ रहने की कोशिश करें, और इससे जो उपजी व्यावसायिकता है शिक्षा में, उसके बारे में क्या करें, वो उन चीज़ों को ये फिल्म दिखाती है। मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि लोग एक संतोष लेकर के जाएंगे और कुछ नया भी लोगों को मिलेगा।
थैंक यू।
The कास्टिंग ऑफ द फिल्म, आपने पहले से ही ये रोल में सैफ और दूसरे रोल में बच्चन साहब को सोचा था?
बच्चन साहब को सोचा था पहले से ही, करीब जैसे कहानी, क्योंकि बहुत दिनों से हम साथ काम करने की बात सोच रहे थे, और जैसे ही मुझे वो कैरेक्टर और कहानी मिली तो सबसे पहले मैंने उन्हीं से बात की। वो करीब 7 साल पहले हुई थी बात। उसके बाद हम और अंजुम रजब अली हम लोग लगातार स्क्रीन प्ले लिखते रहे, 7-8 बार लिखा हमने। इट्स द 9th ड्राफ्ट विच वी शॉट फाइनली। सो दैट इज द प्रोसेस, दैट इज व्हाट वी गो थ्रू। बट बाकी कास्टिंग जो है वो राजनीति की शूटिंग ख़त्म करने के बाद की थी।
In your earlier answer, you said two things which are still ringing in my mind. Like you said, we are going to instead of going into the small towns, I'm going into the big towns. In fact, what I feel is that you're dissolving lines, of the towns and the urban and rural area, and presenting a bigger problem and an issue.
That also, but as I said, all kinds of the compulsion of the subject, because when Rajniti was a film which dealt with, a kaleidoscope of characters on the political landscape or political scene of India. Its characteristics, several things. But I mean, you can have a critique or sort of dissect the film or whatever it is, but it was kind of a show. It was a political show, which was what I wanted to put up, and that was the film. This film is different. This has got a very intense personal story, journey, characters, Arakshan. So I am absolutely sure that this will evoke different kind of reaction. Yeah.
Hi sir, I'm Suresh. Was in Ranchi when you were shooting Hippie Pure, so there was a lot of excitement around when you came in that part of the world. I myself am an art filmmaker. I just wanted to ask you one thing. This is supposedly one of the finest times of making smaller films also, because of the segmentation of multiplex and mass. So rather than getting blamed for saying that selling your soul and stuff and all that, where I'm coming from a faction that now that you have a market access, because Rajniti was such a big hit and the kind of access, why can't smaller film, I mean a movie like a Hippie Pure today would have had perhaps a much better response in terms of the kind of box office. So now that you have an access to the stars and to the marketplace, which I'm completely for, can't we see your brand of cinema, when I'm saying your sensibility of cinema, when you do a movie like Rajniti and this, which is a must, smaller, interesting plots with stars, so that good cinema starts off from here in terms of independent opportunities. So just wanted to ask you about that. Don't you think that this is a right opportunity to capitalize also on something like this?
Probably you're right. One can try and do that. But ये 5 तो है यार actors बिकने वाले. सीधी सी बात है ये. और ये they are so all over booked with huge projects that इनके दिमाग में बात आती नहीं. And they become very expensive. These are very expensive people. All these saleable actors. Even when they work with me, don't think that they give me any concession on their price or anything of that sort. That they work with me with full devotion and full kind of cooperation is something there. But इनका ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि the costs will be reduced even if you try to tell them that this is a small story, because they think that their value is huge and the film will get a huge release. Marketing has become very expensive. Even if you make a very small film today, 4 or 5 crores, which is what I have seen, you need to spend about like 4 or 5 crores on the marketing of the film. Otherwise, you're not able to reach it. And it's not that you have a segmented audience and you can do a segmented marketing at it and it will reach. This multiplex cinema, where you will show your film, even if it is a small film, will charge the same ticket, and it's not that you have dedicated cinemas for smaller films or art films, which is what should have been the case. Then it would have been very, very easy, because even if you don't have big stars, you can still make, and they are making nice, good, experimental, smaller films which are somehow sort of like getting to the mainstream exhibition system and are being noticed, and hats off to them. So it's not that I need big stars to be able to make small films, and I am able to do that by helping, supporting smaller, younger filmmakers whenever there is an opportunity by sparing some money to produce their films, which is what I do.
Prakash, hi, this is Susan from Headlines Today. Is the movie going to get screened, a special screening for the censor board members, because that's everybody's, wanting to know. Is there going to be a screening again for the censor board? This movie?
Censor board has already approved the film.
It has been approved, but due to the political pressure, will there be a screening again?
For the censor board, I don't think there is. They will
Excuse me, I'm a part of the censor board. Okay. And once the film is screened and we give a certificate, this is not like a vegetable market that again you buy a tomato and again you come back to it. What is done is done.
Okay.
Otherwise, the film goes from the examining to a revising community.
What she means to ask if it will be again screened for all those people, as Mr. R.R. Patil said in Vidhan Sabha. I have also heard through the media and news, Mr. R.R. Patil or his office is yet to communicate to me. Nobody has. All these people who are protesting, no one has bothered to write to me or make a telephone call or ask me for a special screening. They're all doing it on political arenas, and they know best as to what their intention is. As far as I am concerned, I learnt about the SC/ST Commission, which is a very powerful body, and Mr. Punia, who is the PL Punia, who is the chairman of that commission. That was before the censor saw the film. He wrote to censor board apparently saying that the film should be shown to him before a certification is given. Now, with all its wisdom, censor board took a decision to create its own kind of committee, which was a very extensive committee. And I almost protested, because usually there is 4 members are there in examining committee. There were 9 members in my examining committee. Members represented by scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, OBC, activists, a retired judge, God knows. They created a huge committee and they saw the film, and each one of them congratulated me for making this film, and each one said that it is thought-provoking, but it doesn't provoke any section of the society. They approved the film without a single cut.
Thank you, sir. What is the primary intention of screening the film today here?
I haven't screened the film. It was only...
The 10-minute portion, whatever.
It's a Naya festival.
I was invited to screen this portion over here and, have a chat with the August gathering.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
No, I would just like to tell you, the Headlines girl, that it is a Naya Film Festival and we have invited him to show his trailer. Yes, I'm talking to you.
Yes,
so you can't ask him that, then why are you showing it?
No, it is just to clear the...
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes, I understand. Thank you. अगर वो मुझे संपर्क करेंगे तो सबसे पहले मैं उनसे पूछना चाहूँगा कि ऐसी कौन सी चीज़ है, ऐसा कौन सा सेंटेंस है, ऐसा कौन सा पात्र है, ऐसी कौन सी घटना जो है हमारे प्रोमोज में आपने देखी है जिस पर आपको आपत्ति है, मैं जानना चाहूँगा। और अगर वो सेटिस्फाई कर देंगे कि ऐसी कोई चीज़ है तो फिर मैं उनको बात करना चाहूँगा। और फिल्म दिखाने की जहाँ तक बात है तो फिल्म तो दिखाने के लिए बनाई ही गई है, फिल्म अपने घर में रखने के लिए तो बनाई नहीं गई। लेकिन वो बिना फिल्म देखे आप समझ सकते हैं कि उनकी क्या मंशा है। बिना फिल्म देखे, बिना मुझसे बात किए, बिना जाने, ये कम से कम एक फ़ोन करके पूछ लें, भैया ये आप दिखा रहे हो, ये शब्द जो बोल रहा है सैफ अली खान, ये क्यों बोल रहा है, तो कॉन्टेक्स्ट उनको समझा दें। लेकिन वो मतलब तो है नहीं, मतलब तो कुछ और है। इलेक्शन आ रहे हैं, मतलब ये है। तो आप उनको अपना काम करने दीजिए, हम अपना काम करते रहेंगे।
प्रकाश जी, कहीं अपहरण की बात करी जाए या गंगा जल की बात करी जाए या राजनीति की बात करी जाए, हर फिल्म आपकी जब भी कोई फिल्म आने वाली होती है कुछ ना कुछ विवाद निकल के आ जाता है। इसको कितना फायदेमंद या नुकसान मानते हैं जब फिल्म मेकर?
हाँ, सवाल अच्छा है। ये सभी लोग जो आज आपत्ति कर रहे हैं, अभी नई बात बता दूं इन लोगों के बाद, छगन भुजबल के बाद एक हाई कोर्ट में यहाँ पे PIL पिटिशन फाइल हो गया जिसकी मंगलवार को सुनवाई है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट में OBC मोर्चा के लोगों ने एक पिटिशन फाइल किया है चीफ जस्टिस के सामने, उसकी अगले हफ्ते सुनवाई है। कल जयपुर में ब्राह्मणों ने अपनी महासभा कॉल करके और कहा कि ब्राह्मणों को गाली दे रहे हैं अपनी फिल्म में, इसलिए राजस्थान में ये फिल्म नहीं चलने दी जाएगी। राजपूतों ने राजस्थान में अलग से विद्रोह किया है। ये सभी जाति वाले लोग जो हैं ये एक एक करके उठ रहे हैं। जब तक फिल्म रिलीज होगी तब तक आधा हिंदुस्तान मेरे पीछे होगा, आप चिंता मत कीजिए। और इससे कितना फायदा होता है ये हमारे लोग जो खड़े हैं, मीडिया के लोग, धन्यवाद इनका, क्योंकि इन बातों को रिपोर्ट करते हैं तो इससे फायदा जरूर होता है, लेकिन ये मानसिक यंत्रणा बहुत होती है, ये बता दूं आपको।
Good afternoon, sir. Here, I'm Chandni from Times Now. Can you tell us what exactly provoked you to take up such a contentious issue, and tell us about the experience of relearning maths for the movie?
Relearning maths.
Yeah. It is not one incident which provoked me. See, what we saw when the Mandal Commission report was adopted and the protests which happened, and it was quite natural for all that happened. But over the period of time, if you keep thinking that this issue of Arakshan or reservation has been swept under the carpet, that is not really the fact, because we continue to have it. Like Gujars were doing it like 2 months ago. About 10 days ago, one senior Congress minister in UP announced that there should be a special reservation for OBC Muslims. So these reservation issues will keep coming up. What became very interesting for me that during the last 30 years of so-called the Arakshan kind of like period, quite ironically, something else happened. Because the number of seats were reduced, so competition increased. Because competition increased, so special coaching institutes came up. Capitation-based institutions came up. And suddenly people saw that there was money in this whole business of education. If you see the growth of the coaching institutes and capitation fee-based institute and the private universities which have come up in the last 20-25 years in this country, you will be amazed. At a rough estimate, almost 40,000 crore rupee parallel education industry, is going on in this country at this point of time. And today, you have kids only wanting to become engineers or wanting to become managers or doctors or some kind of packaging in a special service industry. Look at the fact: 800 scholarships announced by Bombay University this year, Mumbai University this year, 800 scholarship for study in humanities, 80,000 rupees each scholarship. Number of applicants, 6. So no one in this country today wants to study history, geography, literature, science subjects like physics, chemistry, mathematics. There is an estimate that in the next 3-4 years we'll stop having scientists in this country. Everybody, and the pressure of this is that somehow people starve to educate their children. People sell their jewelries and land to educate their children because they need that special degree. In Rajasthan, 4 days ago, for the post of peons, there were MBAs and BBAs who had applied. Business Management Institute. Now, there you have in a small talukas Business Management Institute which have come up and churning out degrees for huge payment of money. They are useless. So the bubble of education and all this has happened. Arakshan is not out of this. It is one cause for this effect. These are things I have dealt with in Arakshan.
All right. So also the experience of relearning mathematics. So
yes.
can answer me that.
It was amazing. I mean, I was a mathematics student, and I must say that apart from going back to the books and writing those scenes, we consulted. There is a Super 30 kind of coaching, not in Kota, it is in Patna, and they train 30 poor children belonging to different kind of underprivileged castes and classes. They pick up 30 kids and they train them for admission into IIT, and they do it free, Mr. Anand Kumar. They do not charge anything, and their record has been that 30 out of 30 kids get into the IITs. So I had called Anand Kumar to give me lessons in mathematics. He did it in my office. I shot with him. I spent a couple of days and I worked on the mathematics lessons which are there. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan and Saif Ali Khan both teach mathematics in Arakshan. So that's how it happened.
I want to just interrupt here. So this teacher taught you mathematics, and then you.
I wanted to
absorbed
see
it.
how he teaches, how he coaches mathematics. So I sort of let him take lessons, and I was the student, and I kept on recording and I kept on talking to him. This happened for 2 days, and then I wrote the scenes which eventually, and I directed Mr. Bachchan and Saif
Did
Ali
Mr.
Khan.
Bachchan meet this teacher?
Yeah, he teaches mathematics. He's got several. In fact, he was quite, enlightened, I think, I told him that, mathematics in my grandfather in my village used to tell me, because, I'm being a Brahmin, which my friend told me, I had to keep a tiki. So he used to tell me, matha mein tiki hoga, tab mathematics seekhega na. That's how it worked out, yeah.
Just actually taking off from the answer that you gave him, when you have, do you need to have 5 stars in your film? Could you, when you already have a couple of big names, would it be, a person of your stature, would it be possible for you to probably promote younger talent? So, when we see college students, they actually look like college students, not essentially like actors, who are much older playing them. Because, you're the kind of filmmaker where the film will work, and you've got already, you've got an Amitabh Bachchan in it, you've got a Saif Ali Khan. Do you need to have more stars in it?
Well, you see, you have a very valid question. I really appreciate that. It's possible to do that. But there are, once you are in that league, every single day I get calls from all these big or established actors. They would never think that they are not look like college students, Deepika Padukone or Katrina Kaifs and things like that. And when you make a project, you have to understand that, these films, even if Deepika was not there, the film would still cost me 55 crores. Because you need to that's the kind of
just because you
baggage
mentioned-
of commercial.
Just because you mentioned the fact about budget, the moment you have more stars somehow, and this is just coming from being a person who works primarily in production, that the budget gets very skewed because you end up spending more on your stars and less on the actual process of filmmaking.
You are absolutely right, but somebody like me finds it very difficult to change this system because it's the eye of the distributor, eye of the exhibitor. Acha heroine kaun hai, hero kaun hai? Their questions are very, and and the compulsions are like that. I agree with you. If I could possibly make kind of big films with younger actors or newer actors, and I do in my films, Pratik is also there, who is not such a big actor or such a big star as yet. And if you would see that several theater actors who are not big or well known, they do play a very important stellar role in all my films. So you have the peg of these big actors who are also willing to work and make the project more viable, marketable. That's how it works.
Sir, Arunama here.
Yeah.
Sir, I am from Bhopal. So a light question. You've been shooting, I think Rajniti was shot in Bhopal and this movie is also shot in Bhopal. So just want to know, how did you decide on shooting there and how was the experience and, how did you like the city?
It's amazing. I somehow had an image of Bhopal because I had gone there a couple of times, and then when I started scouting for location for Rajniti, which needed a big Indian town, not a city, but a town. And Bhopal is very Indian in its outlook. You don't have multi-story buildings, or you don't have, the landscape of a kind of a cosmopolitan city. It's a capital city. There are wide roads, and there are also very narrow roads. There is old Bhopal. There are villages just adjacent to Bhopal. There is a beautiful lake which kind of skirts Bhopal. So I found a very, very good Indian city. But most important, the people in Bhopal. They are amazing. Really. They're so accommodative that you can actually shoot anywhere in Bhopal. Any middle of the city. The city goes, by and they let you shoot. People are very kind of like, well, I wouldn't want to say that cultured because everywhere else they have the same culture. But they're very mild. They're very nice. They're very... the administration is very cooperative, and there is the infrastructure. There are a couple of 5-star hotels. There is the transportation agency. So logistically, it works very well. It's close to Mumbai. Sometimes it so happens that you require an actor for a day, so they can travel in the morning and come back in the night. So logistically, in terms of behavior, it's so easy. The whole of Arakshan was shot in Bhopal. We had a schedule of 55 days and we finished it in 52 days. So it's not a single day anywhere any disturbance happened in Bhopal.
Good afternoon, Prakash ji. And good afternoon, Bhavna ji. Kahan pe? Good afternoon, Bhavna ji.
अच्छा आपका
आपने अनाउंस कर दिया लास्ट क्वेश्चन मतलब
अच्छा
अरे नहीं सर, मैं हूँ यहाँ पे.
सर मैं आपसे बात करना चाहता हूँ, बहुत देर से मैं माइक मांग रहा हूँ.
सही बात है, ये लो
मिला.
आपका क्वेश्चन लास्ट क्वेश्चन होगा, लीजिए.
आपकी आवाज सुनाई पड़ रही है, अच्छी तरह सुनाई पड़ रही है.
सर मैं इस अपॉर्चुनिटी को मिस नहीं करना चाहता हूँ.
पर आपसे पहले एक पीछे सज्जन
श्योर
उनका
पहले आपका हक है. नहीं एग्रेशन से कुछ नहीं है, मेरा मन है उनसे बात करने का. आप प्लीज बात करिए.
नहीं ये तो आरक्षण की शुरुआत है.
बोला है तो आप पहले बात करिए फिर मैं आपसे.
हाँ.
क्या आपको लगता है कि आपकी ये जो फिल्म है और इसका विषय नया सिनेमा है?
मुझे नहीं मालूम, आप डिसाइड करो ना.
आपके विचार?
नहीं मुझे मालूम नहीं. सिनेमा है, कुछ किसी तरह का सिनेमा तो है.
इसके विषय को क्या आप नया सिनेमा कहेंगे?
मैंने कहा ना, मैं आजकल जो है वो दूसरे तरह का आदमी हो गया हूँ. मुझे ये सब चीज समझ में नहीं आती. आपको आपत्ति है तो मैं पीछे ले लेता हूँ, और क्या है. मैं आजकल कॉन्फ्रंटेशन में विश्वास नहीं रखता. नहीं, मेरे विचार आप मत जानिए, आप डिसाइड करो ना. आप नए लोग हो, आप डिसाइड करो नया सिनेमा मेरा है कि नहीं.
दूसरा सर, आप काफी अनुभवी हैं. अच्छा, तो आपको लगता है कि अनुभवी सब कुछ है, ऐसा कहते हैं सर यहाँ पे नया सिनेमा के बारे में?
बल्कि उल्टा कहते हैं.
हाँ वही बोल रहा हूँ कि who says experiences everything.
So I have not understood the question. I don't know if he has understood it. Would you like to rephrase it?
क्या मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि आप काफी अनुभवी हैं. क्या आप इस बात से सहमत हैं कि अनुभवी सब कुछ नहीं है?
या मतलब नहीं, अनुभव क्या चीज़ है. अनुभव तो बहुत सारा होने के बाद भी हम गलतियां करते रहते हैं. तो आई डोंट थिंक एक्सपीरियंस इज एवरीथिंग. आई मीन इट्स नॉट दैट we learn from our experiences all the time.
Thank you.
तो आपका अनुभव जो है,
बस अभी वो जो है ना अग्रेसिव वाले, उन बेचारे बहुत शांति से बैठे हैं, उनको बोल दीजिए.
हाँ पूछ लीजिए. आपके प्रश्न में बहुत मजा आ रहा है. चलिए. हाँ
सर ये वाला पूछ लूं, अनुभव वाला वापस.
हाँ पूछिए ना.
आइए नजदीक आके बात.
नहीं ठीक,
उसके बाद लास्ट होगा मेरा.
हाँ.
सर अनुभव जो है, आप इतने अनुभवी हैं तो आप अपने अनुभव से क्या कहते हैं कि कितना अनुभव होना चाहिए?
भैया जो भी हो आपके हिसाब से जो जितना अनुभव मेरा है उतना तो नहीं होना चाहिए.
हो गया.
अंतिम सवाल. हाँ. सर आपने बताया था कि आपने श्री अमिताभ बच्चन को पहले से सोच रखा था, तो उनके घर में भी अलग अलग जातियों के सभी परिवार वाले हैं. क्या ये भी एक कारण था उनको लेने का?
नहीं, ये कारण नहीं था. मैंने अपनी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में भगवान की कृपा से अभी तक किसी तरह की जातिवाद या आरक्षण की बात नहीं है. This is a creative industry and I don't think we anywhere practice casteism in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
उम्मीद करता हूं कि आपको कुछ अच्छा अनुभव मिला होगा.
सर आपसे तो मिलना हमेशा एक अनुभव है. अगली बार का इंतजार है.
प्रकाश झा की अगली फिल्म का नाम अनुभव होगा और उसमें आपका किस्सा जरूर होगा.
थैंक यू इंडिया टीवी.
आपका नाम अनुभव तो नहीं है?
जी, मेरा नाम सुमित शर्मा, इंडिया टीवी न्यूज चैनल.
सुमित जी, आपसे बात करने का अनुभव हमेशा याद रहेगा. धन्यवाद. हाँ
प्रकाश जी, पहले तो मैं कहना चाहूँगा कि मैं आपकी फिल्में बहुत पसंद करता हूँ. एज अ फिल्म मेकर आई रियली रिस्पेक्ट यू. आपकी जो ये फिल्म है आरक्षण, इसमें आपने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले आपने एक बड़ा स्ट्रॉन्ग सा स्टेटमेंट दिया, प्राइवेट कोचिंग क्लासेस, कमर्शियलाइजेशन ऑफ एजुकेशन, विच टू सम एक्सटेंट आई फील कि आपका भी थोड़ा सा कमर्शियलाइजेशन ऑफ फिल्म्स, जैसे आपने अभी बोला कि भाई इट्स अ कंपल्शन टू हैव स्टार्स और ये सब चीज़ें. अभी एक छोटी सी मैं आपको इसकी सोच में गहराई में जाना चाहता हूँ. मैं पहले अपना इंट्रोडक्शन दे दूँ. मैंने IIT दिल्ली से बीटेक किया है. गाँव में पैदा हुआ था. पिताजी किसान थे. आज हम 3 भाई IIT इंजीनियर्स हैं. एक भाई मतलब पढ़ाई पे ही बेस्ड फैमिली है और मैं टीचिंग लाइन में हूँ. अब मैं आपके मुद्दे पे आता हूँ, विच इज़ आपने कहा कि जो आपने फिल्म में दिखाया है कि भाई स्कूल टीचर ट्यूशन पढ़ा रहा है, और दैट आई डेफिनेटली एग्री, वो एक गलत चीज़ है. बट वो एक कोचिंग के फॉर्म में नहीं पढ़ा रहा है. अब कोचिंग क्लासेस की जो फिनोमिनन है वो ये है कि आपकी सरकार ने स्कूल टीचर्स और कॉलेज टीचर्स के लिए 15,000, 20,000, 30,000 की सैलरी फिक्स की हुई है, और आप एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि जो IIT में टॉप रैंकर्स होंगे वो जाके स्कूल में 30,000 की सैलरी पे पढ़ाएंगे.
एक सेकंड इंटरवीन करूंगा इस विषय पर. अभी जो आपने कहा ना, इसकी भी बातचीत है. जो एनालिसिस है, उस एनालिसिस में सरकार की, समाज की बेरुखी जो है शिक्षकों के प्रति, उसकी भी बातचीत है. आगे बोलिए.
तो अब क्या है कि मेरे जैसे जो लोग हैं IIT से बीटेक करके, अब मैं स्कूल में अगर टीचर बनूंगा तो मेरे लिए 20,000, 30,000 की सैलरी इज यूजलेस.
करेक्ट.
अब मैंने अपनी एक कोचिंग क्लास शुरू की महाराष्ट्र में, मुंबई में, नंबर 1 कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट फॉर IIT एंट्रेंस एग्जाम, स्पेस संस्था के नाम से है
जी.
अब मैंने एवरी ईयर महाराष्ट्र